A very nice T-shirt. Where did you get it?
Custom made.
I see. I see. I will pin the poster. And yep, we are live now. Nice T-shirt. I will let you present yourself first.
Okay. Well, good morning, good evening, whatever it is on your end of the world. My name is Gordan, and I'm one of the people behind WpReset. It is a WordPress plugin made specifically, well, almost specifically for WordPress agencies and entrepreneurs like yourself who create websites for others. It is here to save you time, to save you money, and basically to help you out in all of those situations when clients fuck up and you need to be the person to fix it. It has a lot of features, so I'm not going to dwell into each and every one. I'm going to show you some scenarios, how it can help you, what things it can prevent, what things it can fix, and how I believe it will be useful to you. The tool is actually quite old. It was our internal tool for 5 or 6 years. It was just like a collection of little scripts, you know, everybody has them. So at some point we decided to make them public. So we put the plugin on the WordPress repository for free, you know, as things usually go. It currently has around 350,000 free users and nearly 100,000 paid users. The free version is actually quite okay for most people. So if you don't want to give us money, that's perfectly fine. I think you can get a lot from it for free, right? The pro version got out, I think it was Black Friday 2019. It was a private launch. And then we did a public launch on AppSumo in April last year. We are now doing a relaunch on AppSumo, so if you are watching this video around June or July, you still have a chance to grab it on AppSumo, where it is obviously quite cheaper than we usually sell it for. Now, the name says WpReset, so it implies that you're resetting something, deleting something, you know, doing something bad. And to a certain extent, that is true. One of the functions of the plugin is to reset the WordPress installation. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why the hell would I reset something? You're trying something out, you messed up your installation, you took it beyond repair, you know, basically you just want a clean start. You click one button in WpReset and that's it, it's a clean installation. Obviously, you can do this manually. Copy files around, move the database around, create a new user, you know, the whole shebang. It will take you like 15 minutes. With WpReset, it's one click. We also have numerous levels of resetting. So let's say you want to keep your media files, your plugins, your themes, you just want to reset settings, not a problem. There's a button for that. Also, for people who are just starting out and learning WordPress, this is a great tool because, you know, you try something out. If it works, great. If not, you just click reset and that's it. Obviously, it works on local installations as well as any normal installation. So that's the resetting part. That's the bad part, the we're destroying things part. Now we're going on to more positive things. First, the collections. Now, this is a huge time saver. I actually can't believe nobody else did this before us, or maybe they did it, but I just don't know about it. So collections are collections of plugins and themes, both from the repository and your professional plugins that you have in zip files. Instead of installing 20 plugins for 30 minutes each time you create a new site, you just find the collection, click install, and wait like 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever, until it goes through the list. It downloads the latest version, puts it on the site, installs it, and activates it. It even activates license keys for the pro versions. Obviously, if you want to save the license key, that's up to you. So instead of clicking like a moron for half an hour, 3 times a day, you have your collection, you hit install, and that's it. Obviously, you can share the collections among all of your websites. You can pick and choose. You can have 2 collections, 100 collections. I don't care. Whatever works for you works for us as well. And I have to emphasize, we don't support each and every licensing system for every professional plugin, but we obviously do support those that people use the most. And we have our statistics, we know what you use, and then we adapt for those plugins. So those are collections. Now, next thing, snapshots. What snapshots are not? They're not backups. I know that people think that snapshots and backups are the same, but in our case, they're not. So with backups, you create them with the assumption that you do not need them. You hope that you don't need your backups. So your hosting company creates backups, let's say every day at noon. So 2 months goes by and you don't touch those backups. No, your site is working. Why would you touch the backup? So the only time you use a backup is when shit happens. And the problem is, at that point, you're going to be reverting the complete website. So if something happened between now and the point where you made the backup, you're going to lose those changes. Now, with snapshots, it's different. You create a snapshot with the assumption that you are going to be needing it very shortly, like in the next 5 minutes. So you're on a live website and you want to do something. You want to test a new plugin. You want to test some settings. Basically, you're acting stupid. You shouldn't be doing this on a live site, but I know you are. So you create a snapshot. You do the change. You have a look. Is it good? Is it not good? If it's not good, you revert it back. And this all happens within a few seconds because snapshots don't contain all files. They contain the database and they contain the files that changed, plugins and themes. That way, you're not copying, I don't know, 10 gigabytes of images in order to create a backup and restore a backup. You're basically just pulling around, I don't know, 100 megabytes of the database data, right? So it's very fast. For most sites, creating a snapshot and restoring 10 seconds, 15, something like that. So you don't, I mean, some people do create snapshots regularly, like once a day, they like it, fine by me. But the majority of people use it to test things. It's like a time machine. You don't like what you did, you go back in time. That's it, one click. Next thing is the emergency recovery script. Now, this is a huge thing. It is a standalone, WordPress independent, one file PHP script created for restoring WordPress when shit really hits the fan. So, white screen of death, not a problem. Can't log in, not a problem. Not receiving your recovery email, your password reset email, your account email. So it's just fucked up beyond repair. You upload this one file and it tells you what it can do. Obviously, I mean, sometimes it can't help you if the database is wiped out. I'm really sorry. But I'm going to show you in a few minutes what it can do. For instance, you, I don't know, accidentally delete 20 core files. Not a problem. It's one click. You can't log in because you messed something up. It creates a new user. Not a problem. The great thing is, so when a client calls you and says they messed something up, you can then install the emergency recovery script. You don't have to install it prior. However, again, if you're testing something and you're quite sure you're gonna fuck something up, you can actually install it prior and have it ready. So when, you know, shit hits the fan, bam, bam, 2 clicks, you're done with that. Now, everything that I've described so far is WpReset as a quote-unquote normal WordPress plugin. So it's a zip file, a few PHP files, you put it on your website. However, it also comes with a SaaS component. We call it WpReset Dashboard. Now, its primary function is to control your licenses and your sites. So you can create as many licenses as you need. you're not bound by one shitty license key that we gave you. You need 5, create 5. You need 100, create 100. I don't care. For each license, you can set things like, let me actually see share screen. Let's share my screen.
Before you show us how it works, tell us a little bit. You have more than 300,000 clients, yeah, free clients, and
Yeah.
I think that 100,000 paying customers.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is success, and
yeah.
yeah. Tell us a little bit. I see that you are a balanced person. How is possible to stay humble when you have over 100,000 paying customers?
Yeah, well, I don't really have time for anything else, so I just work. Yeah. So that's a lot of people. Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of emails. That's a lot of bugs. That's a lot of pissed off people. That's a lot of people that love you and a lot of people that hate you. You can't make everybody happy. Each time you try to make everybody happy, you just piss somebody off. At this point, it is truly hard for us to add new features because there's so many ideas from so many people, and you know, we need to keep the direction of the product in a certain way that we have it envisioned, because if we listen to everybody, then it just becomes this one huge mess of nothing. Plus, each time you add something, you add a new tab, you add a new button, you add a new setting, it bloats things. So you have your documentation, you have your videos, you have a lot of things that you need to take care of, and people get pissed because they open the plugin and, oh my God, there's 100 buttons. You know, what do I click? Why is there 100 buttons? It was 5, I don't know, 6 months ago. So it's truly difficult to keep the balance between oh my God, why are you not doing anything? You didn't add a new feature in a year, versus you're adding too much and it's just becoming bloated. And I don't think there's a correct or false answer here. There's no right or wrong way. It's just you push on, and sometimes people get pissed at you, sometimes they don't. Obviously, it's a huge responsibility, because if we make a bad update, we're going to take, I don't know, 1,000 sites down or 10,000 sites down. So it does revolve a lot of testing, and it's a huge difference between today and like 2 years ago, because 2 years ago, I didn't care. We were doing one update a week. Why not? Fuck it, you know, it's a small plugin. We can test things out. But now it's different. So it obviously comes with the territory, you know, it comes with growth. It's not that I don't like it, but it's perhaps more fun when you're smaller and, you know, you can just do whatever you want, quote unquote. But when you're bigger and people rely on you, then yeah, you know, you need to be careful what you say and what you do. And
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, growth is good, money is good, but you're going to change, and the whole company needs to change with it. Like 2 years ago, we didn't have any internal documentation. Why would we? It was me and Alex, and if I didn't know it, he knew it. If he didn't know it, I knew it. So, you know, fuck documentation. But now it's different, because when we need to onboard new support staff, they need to learn, and you can't expect people just to learn out of thin air. So it's a different game. You know, everything's different, not better, not worse, it's just different.
And the last question before you go present how it works, you share the screen. Tell us, how did you manage? How did you start to have the first, I don't know, few thousand customers?
Money. I threw a lot of money. Money, yeah, money. So there's actually I think there are 1 or 2 posts on the WpReset blog where I actually describe what we did. So for those few years when this tool was internal, ours, and it wasn't on the repository, we kept it on a private repository. We didn't care how was it called. You know, you don't care about anything. So then we decided to put it on the WP repo, and there were already 5 plugins with a very similar name, but they weren't maintained. So I bought 4 to shut down 3 to keep 1. So I actually, we're talking about a $5 figure here to buy something and shut it down. I didn't shut it down immediately. I tried to transfer users over to our plugin, but obviously, you know, you can't expect to transfer everybody over. It's a small percentage, I don't know, 20%, 30%. So basically we merged 3 or 4 plugins into one. And once that was done, which is also quite painful and time consuming and money consuming, once we merged, then we started doing WpReset as we envisioned it. So at the moment on the repo, I think there's only 1 plugin left that we don't own that's similar to WpReset. Bootstrapping with $0 is fine. I did it a lot of times, but once you have some cash, things change, and if you know how to use that cash, you can really, you know, jump a few steps in a matter of weeks instead of, you know, being in the trenches for months. You can't do it every time, but in this particular case, it was my decision, and it turned out to be a good decision to buy out the competition. I mean, competition, again, quote unquote, they weren't selling anything. It was just a free plugin. But this way, it, you know, we didn't start from 0 installations. We started from, I don't know, 50 or 60,000. And that's a huge difference on the repository. So if you have some cash and you believe you have a good idea, try finding some smaller plugins with, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 installations, buy them out. If it's a good slug, if it's a similar plugin, I feel that it could work out for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, right now, please share the screen and
Okay.
show us how it works.
Let's have a look at WpReset. So, okay. Now, what I was starting to explain is the WpReset dashboard. So, as I said, unlike other plugins that basically give you just 1 license key, I can go into licenses, I can add a new license, and let's say I want a regular license key that works on 2 websites, and I want it to work till, I don't know, August, and this is for a customer. You write something down and you activate the license. So you can now give this license to the customer. It will stop working on August 19th, and you can control all of the features that this license has on a per license level. So you can never have a, let's say, non-paying customer that's just using your resources, your licenses, you know, and you can't uninstall that plugin. You just remove the license and the site is dead. Okay, we already went through collections, so I didn't create any for this license, but as I said, you create a license, you create a collection, you can share it among all of your websites. We also have brands. Now, this is again a huge thing for agencies. We allow you to completely rebrand WpReset. So, name, logo, colors, URLs, text. You can create, you can make it your own. You can basically create a new plugin. We don't allow you to resell that in the sense of, here is my plugin, give me $5. We don't allow that. However, you as an agency who has clients, we do allow you to install that plugin on the client sites and charge them monthly as a bigger package, bigger service. That's perfectly fine for us. Obviously, when you remove all of the WpReset and Web Factory branding, you look better in the client's eyes, and I feel that you can charge more. Let me see if I can show you how it looks. Do we have a screenshot of a branded? Yeah. So this is how WpReset looks normally. Okay, so there's your logo. There's our help widget, and the footer obviously says Web Factory, and support obviously mentions Web Factory, normal stuff. However, if you have a look at this rebranded version, it's now called Reset IT. We've changed the colors, we've changed some text, and we completely removed Web Factory from the name and from the plugin. Again, we have great feedback from agencies who are using this, because clients feel that they are paying for something premium because this agency has everything rebranded in their colors. Websites, obviously this is a list of all of the websites that your account is using. You can remotely block them. You can also remotely deactivate licenses, and you can remotely view what's going on with the snapshots, how many you have, how many were created. You can also view your snapshots here from the dashboard. As I already mentioned, this is the SaaS part of WpReset. Now, when you create a snapshot, you can automatically store it into the cloud. Dropbox, Google Drive, Ice Drive, and pCloud. But you can also use our WpReset cloud. Why would you use our cloud? It's simpler. So there's no setting up, there's no authorizing Dropbox, no authorizing Google Drive. You just create a new license, you click that you want to use our cloud, and everything goes into our cloud. If you don't trust us, that is perfectly fine, use Dropbox. So here you would see the list of all of the snapshots that you have. You can see the date, you can see the size, standard stuff. And again, you have access to the emergency recovery script here, all of the instructions, and you can always download a new copy of the emergency recovery scripts here. So if you need to install it on a website, this is a shortcut to do it. Okay, let's get back to the plugin for a second. And let's say that I want to enable the emergency recovery script. So now it is installed on this temporary website. You obviously need the URL to the emergency recovery script, and you also need the password. We don't know your password, we don't save your password, so we can't log into your emergency recovery script. Besides the password that's automatically generated, it is also protected by this very long URL. So if you don't share the URL and you don't share the password with anybody, it is 100% completely secure. Also, let me emphasize that the emergency recovery script does not have any code that communicates with our servers. So it is completely autonomous. It is all yours. It's not connected to our servers at all. We can't hack into your website. Okay, now this is a clean installation, really nothing fancy going on here. But let's say you have a client who decides to, I don't know, let's say he deletes these 5 files. Site stops working, it's either the white screen of death or he sees something like that. So what do? We have our emergency recovery script URL. Okay, we load it up. And it says the following core files are missing. And it also says that we have some files that should not be in the core folders, which means, okay, let me show you. Let's say we have some malware here. So some bad code is here. Let me emphasize, the WpReset and the emergency recovery script, it does not analyze how bad this code is or is it bad. No, it just knows that you shouldn't be messing with your core files. So as soon as it sees that you did something to this file, even one letter, one keystroke, one anything, it's been modified. It shouldn't be like that. So it says this file has been changed and these core files are missing. So you reinstall core files. What it's doing now, it's going through all of your core files. It's downloading a secure copy from the WordPress repository, and it's going to just restore these missing files, and it's going to restore this changed file. It's going to take a few seconds. So it doesn't touch your database, it doesn't touch your WP config file, it doesn't touch your media files, it doesn't touch your plugins, your themes. It's just taking care of the core files. Okay, so it's going to be over in a few seconds, hopefully. In the meantime, let me show you what else do we have on the dashboard. Yeah, so important to understand, we make a huge difference between purchases and licenses. Purchases is when you give us the money, and for instance, this purchase has a limit of 10 websites. But licenses are something completely different. You can have 100 licenses because why not? You know, you can use 10 websites at any given time, but you can have 100 licenses. It doesn't cost us anything if you have them. We're done. Core files reinstalled. So we just have this file that's in the core. We can delete it, not a problem. And if we go back to the website, it works again.
Yep.
This is the tool that people mostly use, and they use this. So if you activate a plugin that's completely screwed up your website, you can just click deactivate here. So don't need to use FTP to delete it from the server or anything like that. You can deactivate it here or activate, which people don't use that much. You can view all of the options saved in the options table. You can search, edit. So if you know what specifically you messed up, you can find it here and edit. That's a bit of an advanced tool. But this tool is very simple, and it's basically the #1 thing that people use the emergency recovery script for. So if you messed up your admin account, I don't care what you did. It just doesn't work. You can't log in. I can do, I don't know, new user, and I do some password, new user at webfactoryltd.com, and I create a new admin account. Okay, great password. Please don't use that password. If I'm stupid, you don't have to be stupid. And if we go to users, we have the new user. So a perfect tool if you messed something up user-wise. Now that we have a new user, let me show you how the reset works. So as I said, you have 3 levels of resetting: options, site, and nuclear. And this is a hugely detailed table telling you, what's going to happen. I don't want you to mess up. I obviously don't want you to delete something that you don't want to be deleting. So we're going to now do a site reset. So this is the middle column, and it says it's going to keep my current user, okay? It's going to keep the site title and address and language. And it's going to keep any third-party database tables and all of these files. So it's not touching any files. It's just going to reset the database. Basically, you need to double confirm it, so don't be afraid. You can't just click something, okay? Reset, and we click reset site. It's gonna take, I don't know, oh, it's already done, okay. And if we go to users, that user we added is gone. What else can I show you? Okay, so tools, WpReset, let's see, how do we create collections? So my great collection. Okay, so that's now a new collection, and let's add, so it's going to be a plugin. It's going to be from the repository. Okay, Yoast, why not? And let's add another one. Let's see what it's offering. Okay, yeah, why not? And now when you want to install and activate that collection, you have plenty of options. Let's do install and activate. It now goes through all of the plugins. It's going to download them, it's going to activate them, and it's going to add the Pro license key if you decided to save it. Now, while it is doing that, I can show you, okay, already done for Yoast. I can show you that now in the collections, I have my great collection with 2 plugins, no themes, and it's available on 1 license. So when I create a new license, let's say license, add new license, I now have my list of collections, and I can specifically choose per license which collections I want to have. Where is that tab? Okay, collection installed successfully. Okay, and if we go, I'm already being onboarded by Elementor. Let's say plugins. Yeah, everything is here. Okay, already issues with the site. So basically, I mean, that's the core of the things. We also have over 20 tools. Let me show you, where is that? So these are the tools for doing, let's say, little resets. I call them like that. You can reset theme options, delete transients, purge cache, local data, reset user roles, reset per content, delete. Basically, you're just deleting stuff. But instead of doing big resets, you can pick and choose here what exactly do you want to clean up. Everything is explained in detail, so please don't be alarmed. You're not going to accidentally click something because you need to confirm everything. Yeah, you know, everything I've showed you, you can do manually. If you have the time, you can go into the database, you can connect via FTP, you can find files, find things in the database. Not arguing, you can do it manually. But with WpReset, you know, it just takes a second. Like for instance, for snapshots, create a snapshot, test. Now going through all of our database tables. Okay, it's done. And now you have your user created snapshot. You can also do automatic snapshots, which are automatically created when a plugin is updated, because that is the point in time when problems happen. You know, you just click update. Why shouldn't you? You're hoping for the best, but things get messed up. Not a problem. If you have automatic snapshots enabled, there's going to be a snapshot saying this snapshot was created before plugin blah, blah, blah was updated. Restore that snapshot, and you just undid that update. So now, let's say what I can do, settings. So the site title is clean install, new, let's say, new title test. Okay, so let's say this is the big change that I did to my site, and I no longer like this change. Okay, I don't like the new title. So I just go to snapshots and I say restore snapshot, click OK. It is that fast. So it took like a second and a half, and we are back to the version that it says clean install. Now, how is it possible? How is it that fast? It's that fast because it creates the copies of the database tables in the database itself. It doesn't export to, you know, a zip file or SQL file or text file or whatever. It keeps it in the database. That's what I explained, that when you create a snapshot, you're basically expecting to use it very fast. Unlike a backup, which is obviously pushed off-site, therefore it is slow, but you're not expecting to use it anytime soon.
I see.
Basically, that's it.
Pricing.
I covered pricing. Okay, so at the moment on AppSumo, for around $250, you can get unlimited site licenses, a lifetime deal. So you pay $250 one time, it is yours. For that amount, you're also going to get, I believe, 25 licenses for our cloud storage. So you can use our cloud on 25 sites, 2 gigabytes of storage per site. And if you add $100 more, then we push it to 3 gigabytes per site, and you obviously get more sites. Regular pricing is much more expensive. It is, I believe, around $59 per year for one site. There are agency options, but we don't have an unlimited license in our regular offering. So those of you who like AppSumo, I would definitely jump on that deal because it's significantly cheaper than we usually have it.
And what about the normal price?
Mm-hmm. So the normal it's yearly. So a recurring price is around $49 per year per website.
I see. This tool is very good for agencies, right?
Yes. So we have a license for agency license for 100 sites, but again, it's yearly. If they grab it on AppSumo, they get unlimited and they get a lifetime license, which we usually don't sell because we do need recurring revenue.
Yeah. So guys,
yeah.
If you like WpReset, just go on AppSumo. Most of our community members know what AppSumo is. Yeah. It's very hard to hide you if you are AppSumo.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, if you want to learn more, just go on WpReset.com. They have documentation. And also, if you want to understand how these guys create success, they have the blog post there and they explain you exactly how they did it. That's
pretty
it
much.
for today.
Yeah. Maybe we didn't explain everything, but it's, the tips are there.
It's enough. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I wish you a fantastic day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and have a good one. Bye.
Bye now.